So it's week 6 of LSBA season 12, 2025. We have 5 battles this week. One is from the Patrick Bateman's dropping out. We have the most hyper offense team and one of the stalliest teams. So there is a very big variance in the turn order, or the amount of turns that get taken up. So first we have Alex versus Joey. Joey has some of the strongest Pokemon. He's got Dragonite, Tapu Lele. They will just one-shot your team if you let them. And then, so he leads Lele. Gets pretty good momentum. And then Landorus uses U-turn. There's already so many switches. And Ogerpon knocks out Landorus. Another U-turn. But the U-turn knocks out the Ogerpon Wellspring, which was named Dexter Morgan for some reason. And he stalled out his own Psychic Terrain, but that was fine because he needed that speed boost. However, this is a Scarfed Iron Treads. Let's see if Joey picks up on that. Not that he has any ground resistance on this team now that Ogerpon's out. Oh, he had air balloon that whole time. He didn't need to lose his Tapu Lele. Oh, and that Terra Star Storm is super strong. And Terapagos is apparently pretty fast compared to Joey's whole team, and it survives everything. It's got it all. It's got the hit points, it's got the attack. And that is how we make a match last 14 turns. 2 of them didn't even get used. Saraledge and Lopunny never came out. Next we have Chartwig versus Rodney. Pretty scary team. On both ends, he's got a lot of really heavy hitters and some pretty decent support for those heavy hitters. And then we got some really bulky offense, and then some cleanups. There's Galvantula lead. Galvantula always has to sticky web. And he has a really interesting set on this Tinglo. He has Throat Chop just for the Galvantula so that it can't Bug Buzz. And then he has Stomping Tantrum just for the Grassy Surge. Because I think Stomping Tantrum is better under Surge. Yeah, Grassy Terrain makes Earthquake, Magnitude, and Bulldoze have in power. So I think Stomping Tantrum is like a base 85. It's a little weaker than Earthquake, but stronger than it in Terrain. And Rodney must have been expecting a switch, because anything he switched into would have not really appreciated a Thunderwave. It might have been the move to keep Galvantula around so that he could Thunderwave everything. Yeah, it'd have only been good for Slowking or Annihilate. And he's tried the Dazzling Gleam, expecting a different switch. Although I think Slowking would have been a pretty good one. Nope. These are kind of hard counters, Bulu. And Arcanine hits so hard. Ruination is pretty strong. However, the thing about Stomping Tantrum is it's a contact move. Oh, that's not a good position to be in. Urshifu is going to knock something out. Just who do you care about least? And, yeah, the Defiant Sticky Webs. Feels like it could have been utilized a little better, but I don't think he'd even survive any other moves to use it. Yep. They all kind of have a good advantage against Annihilate. The whole reason Annihilate is even in Ubers is because of Shadow Fist. Otherwise, it's like a little worse than Landorus. So Rage Fist, sorry, what'd I say? Rage Fist, every time it gets hit by a move, Rage Fist does an extra 20. So if you can heal Annihilate or give it bulk up, which is pretty common, then it's pretty unstoppable. And Rage Fist is a great move. And this is my favorite move of the whole week. He court changes, and then because of Libero, he survives the Stone Edge. It's uncommon to see court change get pulled off. I think overall Sticky Web did not do Rodney any good this week, because it gave Annihilate Defiant, it allowed him to use court change. He was trying to sack his Shenpao. And Chartwig says that you pretty much have no removal on your draft, so I brought court change. Nope, Crunch is just that strong. And then obvious King Shield incoming. Nope. But he Sucker Punched just in case King Shield was coming out. And very good. Good match between you two. Chartwig did some cool stuff there. And next we have Jack versus James. See, it's easy to remember my team because my username is my name and my Discord name. Oh, yep. That was a sound check. And James has a terrifying team. Terrifying team. But I don't think he used it very well this week. Oh, the Volt switches. We don't like the Volt switches. Walking Wake hard counters the Moltres, but my loader hard counters the Walking Wake. And everything has turn. Flip turn, U-turn, Volt switch. Pooh! Oh, if only that were scarfed. I don't know, maybe it's a scarfed Landorus, and it's also a scarfed Golden Go. We don't know. No. You know, poison moves are the weakest to being switched into. It's weak to... It's good against one type, and then weak to against everything else in the whole world. If it didn't have that status effect. I don't know why he is taking so long to bring out Charizard, because this Ivy Cudgel would have done 60 instead of 40. So last turn, the Ivy Cudgel did 39%, but this turn it only did 37. There is a variance. Any move can do 85% damage or 100% damage. And then it loses to the poison because he got good luck with the poison. The only thing that thing is on the team for was our guy, Ogre-Pon. And he knew the Volt Switch was coming, but he knew that his specially defensive Milotic could handle it. And so he just recovered. You have to do more than 50%. And, yeah, if the Photosynthesis attack had procced, you know, if the sun were out, that would have knocked out, because he'd have been able to do 50% more damage. I don't know what his plan is here. Just Solar Beam him. Just Solar Beam the Milotic. And Milotic's got a Dragon Tail for the Walking Wake. Alright, it's easy math. This guy, Charizard, makes everything at least 50% more powerful. Well, at least these three guys. And it's an interesting week for Jag not to have brought Tyranitar. Because this is a very heavy weather-dependent team. And yep, that's no, not necessarily a scarfed Landorus, but probably, possibly. And it might even be banded. The explosion knocks out the Charizard Mega Y with no problem. And then he's just got his hard counter to this guy. And this is one of those situations where he'd have been better off with Photosynthesis special attack. Chartwigs makes a reference to the Exploding Kittens card game because Landorus is a cat, apparently. I didn't know that before. And he does the safe move, he recovers. And he flip turns just because he wants Excadrill to get the KO on the stat sheet. Oh gosh. And next we have two of the lower performers. Their teams are both kind of jokes, but I don't think Azoth is really trying to win. He just is doing it for the memes. And of course we got the first impression. You always got a first impression whether it makes sense or not. And then he drill runs. Oh, it's a contact move, but it was a tactical contact move because it makes him use his emergency exit into Vikavolt. Vikavolt's pretty strong. I considered it for Trick Room, but it's not that great. And Ferrothorn did its most important job, and it set up a Stealth Rock. Nothing has Rapid Spin or Stealth Rock on his whole, or Defog on this whole team, except maybe Caesar. Caesar got Defog. And he sets up a Sticky Web. Sticky Web can get pretty dangerous. That can be a huge advantage. Now is a good time to Volt Switch! Oh! No, he roosts. He expects, I don't know. I don't know what he expects. A Euro Ball? Power Whip? It's not using either of those. And Stone Axe. You always gotta use Stone Axe, even if it doesn't make sense. Not that it didn't make sense, but... Oh, Thunder Wave isn't good. That can wreck. There's no close combat on this, Caesar, maybe, probably. And it's named Phi because of the Legend of Zelda character. He gets a defog off because he dislikes having Sticky Web more than he likes annihilating his whole team with Stealth Rock. And he's just sacking off his Caesar right now. This Zapdos has done so much this year. It's his ace right now. Okay, so this turn, he does not go for Quick Attack. The reason he doesn't go for Quick Attack is because he doesn't expect Cleavor to be scarfed. Otherwise, I think Quick Attack might have even been enough, because this guy isn't even that strong. Pooh! Everything is weak to rock. So, in this situation, Aqua Jet, he doesn't have Aqua Jet. Okay, he doesn't have Aqua Jet. And that would have been stronger than First Impression, because First Impression is not Fake Out. Oh! Sucker Punch. This next couple turns. So he gets hit with the Sucker Punch and gets the static, and then the Ancient Power hits. Why would you switch? It's because he knew there was a Roost coming, and he was... That's probably a banded low kicks in that case. Oh, the Rock Blast misses. The Hurricane hits. The paralysis happens, and the Ancient Power hits. It would have been a nice flex if he got the Ancient Power boost just right at the end. But yeah, that luck mattered. And lastly, we have the longest battle of the season so far. It's like 46 turns. How can we handle that? I don't think we can. So this is my first week using Azumarill. Little fluffy guy. Little... But my Azumarill wasn't ready for battle. He was fat, and he needed to get into shape. And by that I mean I forgot that huge power was really important to Azumarill, so it just has thick fat. It needed to do some training. And I got the best possible lead I could have. I think Necrozma is decent against everything on his whole team. And I have been walled to death. I've gotten 6-0'd by a Corsola Galar in another draft league. So I'm super worried about it. So Strength Sap happens. Strength Sap will almost always heal it to full because it has Eviolite. And so its hit point stat is lower than normal, but it can still have good bulk. So it makes the absolute most out of Strength Sap. But I have Substitute for Will-O-Wisps, and I think it works on Curse, but I'm not certain. And even if you're at -6, Belly Drum will put you up to maximum attack. I don't understand how drumming on your belly works. Now here, it can either be Water Absorb or Unaware. And Unaware makes a little more sense. If it was Unaware, it would have walled. I guess we were even in that regard because we both had the bad ability for our Pokemon. An Earthquake can beat one Substitute, but then he gets hit by the Play Rough. And if he had been Huge Power, that would have worked. But if it had been Huge Power versus Unaware, that wouldn't have worked. He'd have been at like 60 still. And then he gets the Attack Drop. And the Attack Drop allows the Substitute to not be broken. And then this guy. Now, I am expecting Burning Bulwark because he thinks I don't know what Burning Bulwark does, so I go for Substitute just to not have a contact move. And Aqua Jet only does 23% because it's Photosynthesis Defense and Max Defense. And I'm expecting a Flare Blitz, and I'm expecting that to do a ton of recoil damage. That recoil damage is more than anything Blissey has ever done in terms of damage. And a normal person would be scared by this. But Komao doesn't have high enough stats to begin with, so now its stats are kind of like a normal, fully evolved Pokemon's. And it's a special attacker on this set, which I wasn't expecting. And then I go for Photon Geyser to KO the guy. And this Corsola. Oh, the Corsola. This was a mistake here. I didn't have anything great for against it. Oh, if it didn't get the strength sap, that would have KO'd. His Corsola actually outslows my my Ursaluna. I think he put negative defense or negative speed on it on some of his Pokemon. Oh, and it strength saps to full. It heals 85%. Yeah, that he did really well with Corsola. Corsola added an extra 30 turns to this battle. Oh, and that's scary. He's got the Acid Armor Body Press, but luckily I have Dondozo. If I didn't have Dondozo, I would have lost like 2 different times in this game. Just because of its unaware. And so it doesn't have to care about that 3 times defense. It can just Earthquake. It will do the same damage. He doesn't even go for Body Press. And if he had countered on that turn, my Dondozo wouldn't have made it. But then I'd just Shadow Sneak, so. And then Earthquake isn't a contact move, so I'm not afraid to use it. Thunderfang is not a strong move to begin with. I think Flare Blitz does even more. Or even Dragon Claw does more than Thunderfang, but he was worried about the Azumarill. No, because he didn't ever use. He used Smart Strike against Azumarill. Maybe he doesn't know that water resists steel. And then this guy's back. Alright, I switch into my lowest attack stat Pokemon, and so he only heals 7% from the Strength Sap, and I go for Shadow Ball. And I get the Will-O-Wisp. And here I'm thinking, this is just a special attacker. Okay, Blissey doesn't have to worry. Unless he's got close combat on this set, then that's still not even a problem. Alright, our Sphere does 31%. And I point out that if I had Toxic on this set, it would have been in a shorter battle. Which is ironic, because Toxic usually adds 20 turns to the win condition. And I think it just kind of... Blissey stays out for a while. Okay, I don't know. I switch into my Assault Vest guy. I was hoping Shadow Sneak would be enough. But if I had done the math, I would have known that Knockoff would have been better. 35%. Oh, and I didn't even notice that it outslowed. I was like, my Muck is 94 speed. He's probably going second, but if I had knocked off first, what would have happened? Yeah, it would have knocked out. But I thought I was slower. And I think if he didn't curse, if he had Will-O-Wisped instead, he might have had a chance. And that traces the unaware. That can get scary, but I don't have any setup anymore. And if he didn't have unaware, that would have knocked out. I think Focus Blast might have knocked out, and if it did knock out, I could have used Aqua Jet. I could have 6-0'd if I had switched into Muck. But, yeah, that's what happened. That was week 6. Thanks for watching. Oh my gosh, my head wasn't even in the